Good morning. Good new op day, everybody. This is Paul Romero with the Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Training number 162 on July 20th. New op day, July 20th. Wow, this month, another month just flying by. It's crazy, crazy. I had a subject for today, but I'm actually going to save that for Freedom Friday. It fits more for Freedom Friday, I think. So today, first of all, I want to congratulate Zaki, who is the newest member of our team, has been out training a couple of days with one of our guys and is just excited to get here. I met up with him Saturday, and we sat down and talked for a couple hours and showed him our system a little bit. And I think, Zaki, welcome, congratulations. You're going to be great at this. He's really got, I think, what it takes to be good. So with that, congratulations, man. Can't wait to get you going and see you get some success under your belt. But today, what I'm going to talk about is patience, because that is probably the number one big factor that why people don't make it in this business. Not just in this business, but pretty much in anything that they try, which that right there is the second biggest reason why they don't make it. Is, the biggest problem that they have is because they just try things. They don't actually do things. And that's a big issue, because everybody's looking for, the get rich quick thing, and there's no get rich quick. There's no such thing as get rich quick. I mean, unless you freaking hit the lotto. And that's why I guess the lotto is so popular, because everybody just wants to get rich quick. But statistics show that doesn't work either, because most lottery winners end up right back where they started, or even worse, because they don't know anything about money. They don't know how to have money. So it's not such a great thing after all to get rich quick. The best way to get rich is to work at it. You got to take it day by day. So there's no such thing as get rich quick. There's no such thing as overnight sensation. I mean, really think about it. Okay. What's an overnight sensation? Somebody that popped onto the scene. I mean, overnight sensations are generally, associated to musical artists, artists of some kind, that, all of a sudden, here's this person, of adult age, that all of a sudden they're, so popular and so rich and so wealthy, and it's, they're an overnight sensation. Well, they didn't just wake up one morning from being an average person and have all this talent that they could become an overnight sensation. Doesn't work that way, okay? They worked really hard for a lot of years, honing their skills to reach that point where all of a sudden it all comes together, and now they are a sensation. Not an overnight sensation, an overtime sensation. So it just appears that way on the surface because, prior to their debut, or whatever you want to call it, most people didn't know them. Now all of a sudden everybody knows them. So they're an overnight sensation, but there's a lot of hard work that goes into that, becoming that overnight sensation. And like I said, they're really more like an overtime sensation. And that's how it is with, if you want to get rich, you have to do it over time. You're not going to wake up one morning and all of a sudden just have the universe give you everything you need to sit down and create something that's going to make you rich by tomorrow. It ain't going to happen. All right. It's going to happen over time. I'm not quite there yet where I want to be, but it's been 4 years in the making. Okay. Or actually, no, really 3 years in the making. So it's something that you have to build upon day by day by day by day. And in this business, let's see. So why are you? Yeah, so I mean, looking at that whole idea, coming into a business like wholesale real estate, what makes you think you're so special that you're gonna, go to a seminar or buy a guru program or whatever it is, and boom, be that overnight sensation and, be rich and happy and everything that you want in no time flat, or, even land a deal like within the first 30 days, which, most everybody talks about. It's possible. Yeah. I mean, that's wholesale real estate. Everybody gets excited about the hype, about the big bucks that you can make in no time flat and everything else. And that is definitely possible, but you can't count on it. You can't bank on it. You can't, lay your whole thing out there that, well, if I don't get a deal in 30 days, then this is a bunch of BS and I'm moving on to something else, which is what most people end up doing. They have that super inflated expectation that, they're going to make 40,000, 10, 20, 30, $40,000, $50,000, whatever, some huge, crazy, ridiculous amount of money, in the next 30 days, just by, doing a couple of simple things. You're building a foundation with this, a couple of simple things. You're starting a pipeline. You're building a funnel. You're doing these things. You have to take it day by day and continually put things in there, until something starts to trickle out the other side. And that's where you have to have the patience. You have to have the patience and the perseverance. I'm going to add a second word to today's little conversation here: patience and perseverance, because you have to persevere through what seems like nothing is happening. And it really comes down to where I'm going to go back to Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich and the Laws of Success in 16 Lessons. And you have to have a, definite chief aim and a burning desire to achieve it, which is the burning desire to achieve it is where you have developed the patience and the perseverance, because you have to believe 100% that you're going to be successful at this in the first place. If you go into something with the mindset that, oh, I'm going to give this a try, but it probably ain't going to work. Well, guess what? You're right. It ain't going to work. That's just the bottom line, because you just don't have the drive and the thought process to that's going to force you to do what needs to be done in order to actually see the success that you really want to see. Excuse me. The patience and perseverance to continually do what you know you need to do without seeing any results whatsoever is what's going to pay off over the time. And eventually, yeah, you're going to start seeing, the deals start trickling out the other side of the funnel, but you got to start building that foundation first. You have to start building, you have to build the funnel first, or the pipeline, whatever it is. It's just like you can't get oil from Mexico to the United States, or Canada to the United, or Alaska to the United States, down the pipeline until you build the pipeline first. If you can sit there and you can gush it out, but it's going to take a whole lot of big flooding to make it all the way from there to here if you don't have the pipeline. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it is. You can spew a bunch of stuff out there, but nothing's going to happen until you build this pipeline. So you've got to be able to look at the little things and say, okay, here's a piece I need to incorporate and start doing and continue doing that. And then here's another piece I need to incorporate and start doing and continue doing that, and doing these little pieces one at a time, one after another, boom, boom, boom. And that's how you start building your pipeline in wholesale real estate. Now, traditionally, that's what you have to do. Our system obviously is a little bit different, because with our system, we're not showing you how to build a pipeline. We're saying, okay, here's the pipeline, jump in there. All right. Here's what's coming out the other end of the pipeline. Take some of this. That's kind of how our system works. So with our system, you can see fast results. But again, too, there's also, an element of having to build a pipeline. You've got to, even with our system where really it's all there for you to just pick up and start working, you've got to touch a lot of pieces. You got to touch a lot of deals and a lot of leads in order for you, because not every deal or not every lead is a deal. I mean, with our system, every lead is a potential deal. There's a deal there, but not every lead is going to turn into the deal. So you got to be able to touch a lot of them to have them start turning into the deal, and have a little bit of patience to wait for those to, you know, come out the other end of the funnel. So that's where, you know, even with our system, you got to have some patience and some perseverance, and knowing that, you know, hey, I got to just go out there and do this again and again and again and again, and then I'm going to start seeing the results that are going to come down the other end. So for instance, yesterday is Sunday, which is for us in our schedule is celebration day. It is a personal day. It's a day for me, for all of us, really. Anybody, you know, within our system, when you get to working, you know, our schedule, so to speak, celebration day is a day for you to go out there, for us to go out there, for me to go out there and do something for yourself, to get away from it, to take a break, to refresh, to enjoy, to experience, you know, something new, something different, to knock something off your bucket list, to live rich for a day, to, you know, all the things that, you know, you want to do. And what did I do yesterday? Spent all day pretty much in front of this computer, but I did perfect 2 contracts that are going to be a key element in building this business and this organization moving forward. And, you know, after that, I got, you know, a couple of other small tasks, 3 or 4 other small tasks taken care of, knocked off my plate. And that was my whole day, all day long. And that's all that I got accomplished. Yeah, it takes time. There's no way from the very beginning that I could have sat down and put all this together along with everything else that needs to be done in such that tomorrow I'm getting rich. Okay, it ain't gonna happen that way. It's not gonna happen for me. It's not gonna happen for you. But I put together some pieces yesterday that, in time moving forward, I would say over the course of the next 2 to 3 months, these pieces are going to make a big difference, and my income is going to increase, you know, proportionately to how these pieces that I created are going to be used. So it's all about, you know, being able to take it one step at a time to get to where you actually want to go. Sorry, my mouth is quite dry this morning for some reason. Tongue's starting to stick to the roof. And I'm not even eating peanut butter. But anyway, so patience and perseverance are 2 of the most powerful elements, qualities that you need to bring to the table if you want to become a successful real estate wholesaler, or quite honestly, if you want to become a successful anything. Because there's nothing out there that's going to give you, you know, overnight sensation and overnight success. I mean, heck, how long are we supposed to go to school and learn and study so we can become a doctor or a lawyer or something like that? You know, something where, you know, you have a very high working income that you can, you know, have a good life, right? It takes time. You can't just go from, you know, 5th grade and say, I want to be a lawyer, I'm going to go take the bar and pass the bar and be an attorney. It doesn't work that way. They won't let you do it that way. But that's the beautiful thing about, you know, wholesale real estate and or a lot of other things such as our network marketing business, which we have pulled a hangout prior to this one for, is you can literally do it in, say, like 3 years or less, especially in today's world with so much technology and information that's available out there. There's a saying, old saying, I don't know who initiated this saying, but I know one man, very brilliant man, who said this saying, and the saying goes that prospecting doesn't pay, you know. Uh, but what he meant by that is there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. And in today's world, especially, there's so much information out there, so much available to you, so many systems that are already in place that you can literally just plug into and go, and literally within 3 years or less, achieve a level of, at least a level of success that you're going to be excited about. And with these systems too, literally within a very short period of time, 1 to 2 months, have already achieved at least some success that's going to maintain your initial excitement, to keep you going, to preserve your patience, and to feed your perseverance, to want to keep going and to want to keep building upon what it is that you started, because you see you can, these programs and what's available out there gives you the ability to see and to have some instant gratification, which is what we need, which is what most people need in order to, stick with something. That's the first and number one reason why people fail at whatever it is that they quote try, because first of all, as I said, they're just trying. They're not really, they don't believe, they're not really, wholehearted, gung-ho, I am going to do this, attitude going in. They're just like, oh, I'll check it out and see how it works. And maybe it will, and maybe it won't, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? And you're not going to get anywhere with that. But if you're like, you know what? I see it. It's real. I can see that it's real. I mean, this obviously works. All I have to do is do it. Here's the system. Show me how to do what I need to do, and I will do that. And if you just go do it and you stay and continue doing it, you'll start to see a little bit of success. And then you'll start to see a little bit more success, and a little more and a little more and a little more, and it steamrolls. It's like the snowball. It starts building over time. Again, no overnight sensation. You can't put a snowball at the top of the mountain and have it just puff up into, a giant snowball. You got to roll it down the hill. It's got to build, just like everything else. It's got to build over time. So with the whole idea of sticking with something in today, in today's world, with the power that's behind the things that are available, you don't have to go out and start something from scratch. Although that's what most people think they have to do, is start something from scratch. And wholesale real estate, a lot of the systems that you see is all about building something from scratch. There are some great systems. There are some great systems that can help you build from scratch very quickly. Ours is one of them. Ours is more like not building from scratch, but it's more like, it's not the prospecting part of it. It's more like just plug in. The other ones are sort of like, okay, here's the blueprint, start building your house. Ours is more like, here's the house, start moving in. There's a little bit of an advantage there, because it's great if you have a blueprint to build a house, right? Hey, you know exactly what to do. You can start building the house, but it's going to take time before you can actually move into the house and enjoy, the fruits of your labor. And with our system, like I said, it's sort of like, okay, here's the house. Go ahead and start moving in. Well, hey, you can jump right into packing the boxes and stuffing the truck and getting all your things over here, opposed to actually having to swing the hammer and pound the nails before you go to that step. Hope that kind of makes sense for you guys. It sort of makes sense for me anyway. But I'm a guy who came from construction, so that's kind of why it makes sense. Anyway, I just wanted to put it out there, you guys, that wholesale real estate is real. I mean, it's powerful. It's going on right now. It's strong and it's everywhere. But you've got to be able to believe. You got to be able to have patience, and you got to be able to persevere. Those are the three things that you need. You got to believe that you can do it. You got to believe that it's going to happen. You got to believe that it's real. You got to believe that, you know, it's going to take some time. You got to understand that it's going to take some time, you know, which is where the patience come in. You got to understand that, you know, this is going to take some time. You got to understand that there is, you know, a foundation that needs to be built before I can start skyrocketing. You got to, you know, understand that you're going to have to work hard. You may not have to work hard long hours like you do in your job, but you are going to have to work hard, and you are going to have to persevere. You have to understand that you're going to have to continue doing without seeing results, and hold your belief throughout that time period until you begin to start seeing results. And then once you start seeing results, you know, build upon the excitement there. So those are a couple of things that, if you're going to come into this business, you know, and especially if you're going to come onto this team, our team, you know, we're going to put that into your mind, and we're going to try and reassure you and continue to get you to hold that thought process in your mind so that you can work through the funnel building time, the pipeline building sequence there. I want to go through a little something else real quick here that was thrown at me this morning. You know, why do you want to get into wholesale real estate, right? Is because, you know, you want freedom. You want a specific type of freedom, which is financial freedom. But what is financial freedom, and how do you achieve financial freedom? That's a question that, if you ask most people on the street, what is financial freedom and how do you achieve it? Wow. You're not going to get any real answers, because the problem is that most people don't know, you know, and if you don't know what financial freedom is and how to achieve it, you can want it all day long, but are you ever going to get there? No. You have to understand, you have to learn what it is first. You got to learn what financial freedom really, really is. And then, of course, you have to learn, you know, what it takes to actually achieve it. Most people, when you ask them, you know, what is financial freedom and how do you achieve it, most people think very grandiose about what financial freedom is. You know, it's being rich, you know, it's being, you know, super wealthy, it's being, you know, having money to fly in Learjets, you know. I mean, that's kind of where most people's thought process of what financial freedom is begins, which is completely wrong. You know, financial freedom is not necessarily that big. It doesn't have to be that big. Financial freedom is very specialized, you know, and specific to each individual, because financial freedom is what you want. And what you want is not the same thing as what I want. It's not the same thing as what your neighbor wants. It's not the same thing as what that barking dog wants. You know, it's different for everybody. And which means that there's different levels of it. Sure, there's people that, you know, hey, my financial freedom is set really high. I want to have a lot of money. You know what I mean? That's where I'm going to be financially free. But financial freedom really is, and I'm going to give you this definition. You might want to write this down. Financial freedom is the ability to live the lifestyle that you desire, okay? Your lifestyle might be, the lifestyle that you desire might be a small cabin by the lake with an old pickup truck and a dog and a fishing pole. That doesn't take a whole lot of money now, does it? You know, whereas the person sitting next to you, their vision of financial freedom might be flying to Paris on a Saturday in a Learjet to have lunch because I can. You know, that's going to take a whole lot more money now, isn't it? Different levels of financial freedom. So, and this is where that whole, you know, definite chief aim comes in, and is to, what do you really want out of life? You know, what is your ultimate goal? Where, you know, what lifestyle do you want to live? And so, again, financial freedom is the ability to live the lifestyle that you desire. Now, here's the key part: without having to work or depend on anyone else for income. Well, wait a second. Without having to work or depend on anyone else for income. Income, you got to have income, right? I mean, it doesn't matter, financial freedom, even financial freedom comes with a price. There's still, there's even the cabin by the lake with the old pickup truck and the dog. You still got to have money to buy worms, right? You need some money that's still coming in order for you to live that lifestyle that you desire, right? So how do you have income without having to work? That's the disassociation part that, I mean, first of all, understanding that, hey, financial freedom is achievable because really knowing what you want and understanding what that level is that you need to get to have that financial freedom, first of all, that's the key piece. But then the disconnect comes where people have no clue how to get there is, how do I have income without working? That's where that's where we help people. That's where we're going to help our people get to financial freedom as well too. It's not just about, hey, here's a system, go do it and have a happy life. We're talking about here's a system, go do it, start making some money. Now, you know what? Hey, check it out. Start doing this with your money if you really want to get to where you want to go. And what is it that we're going to have you do with your money? Well, first of all, basically, you have a working income. So right now you've got a job, and this right here, starting out in wholesale real estate, is going to create additional working income for you. Okay, this is not the stuff that's going to create your financial freedom. It could very possibly produce large chunks of working income for you, but you're still going to have to be doing something in order to get it. So that's one key thing that most people don't understand. Everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to go do wholesale real estate. I'm going to make these large chunks of money, and I'm going to be financially free. Well, if you don't do the right things with that money, with those large chunks of money, you're just going out there and you're just spending it like you always do. You're not going to get the financial freedom that you really, really want. So you have to take that working income, and where people are now, most people in today's world are thinking, hey, $20, $30 an hour is some pretty darn good money, right? $10, $15 an hour, not so much. 20, 30, really not so much either. I mean, heck, even $40, $50 an hour. I mean, sure, you're probably thinking right now, God, if I was making $40, $50 an hour, I'd be financially free. What are you talking about? You're crazy. No, you wouldn't, because you're still working every day, 5 days a week, trading your time in order to have that money. Financial freedom means time, okay? Money coming in without you having to work equals time. That's what it's all about. Freedom of time and having the money to do what you want to do. That's what it's all about. So what you really need to do right now is to try to figure out, how can I make $300 an hour or more? That's where wholesale real estate comes in, okay? Is taking you from where you are now at your $10 to $50 an hour job that you have to trade your time in order to get that paycheck to a level where you can start adding to that so that you can work towards true financial freedom by doing the right thing with your money. And the first thing you need to do with some of that money, well, with most of that money, save it, not spend it. That's the problem most people have. We're so conditioned by society to spend our money, get out there and spend. You got to have this, you got to have that. Oh, you drive a crappy car, guess what? You made some money, go buy a better car. No, keep driving that crappy car for a while. You know what? If it runs, so what if you got to keep a pan in the driveway to catch the oil drips? You know what? Keep the crappy car for a while. Save your money. Nobody will ever have financial freedom if they can't develop the habit of saving. It's just never going to happen. It's a law of success. It's kind of like gravity. You don't have to believe in it, but it's going to happen. But it happens every day, and it's true, and there's nothing you can do about it. So without you saving money, you'll never get where you want to go. Number two, investments. Okay, the money that you're saving, what are you going to do with it? You got to invest it, right? What are you going to invest it into? So you need to start learning about investments. And I'm going to put a word of caution out there. Standardized traditional investments of what everybody did prior to the crash, putting your money in stock markets and money markets and all these kinds of things, yada yada yada. Watch it. Be very careful. Don't sink it all into that. Okay, definitely. If there was ever a time that diversification was important, it's never more important than now. And there's a whole lot of other places you can invest your money, but the whole idea is to invest your money that you're saving. But why? That's the ticket here. You don't want to be investing your money that's going to hopefully create something later. All right, that's the key thing. You don't want to invest your money into something that is projected to do this later. You need to invest your money into things that is going to create an income that generates cash flow now. That's what it's all about. It's called passive income. Your investments, you put your money into this investment and it starts spitting out money back to you immediately. Maybe not today, but by the end of the month, monthly, on a monthly basis, something that's paying you money now. So now you worked hard, you saved some money, you invested it, you're still working hard, you're still making your 10 to 40 bucks an hour, whatever it is, but now that money that you saved and you invested, you have that to add to it, right? So now you can save more quicker to make other investments to create more passive income coming in so that you can build more and save faster and save bigger, and so you can make more investments. That's how you build it. And number five, the fifth thing that you need to do is to simplify. Okay, simplification. And I'm not talking about what I'm talking about here is simplifying your life. You've got to take what you're living at right now. First of all, simplify that down. Eliminate. You know what? Do you really need 150 cable channels, or can you really live with like 90 cable channels? All right, that's probably 50 bucks a month you can save right there. There's some savings. Do you really have to be driving that big old gas hog, or can you really get away with a cheaper gas saving vehicle? Do you really have to have 40 bags of Cheetos a month, or could you really get by with 3? I'm just saying, it's simplifying your life and saving the money that you actually have now. But more importantly, if you actually do these steps, if you do the saving and you do the investment and you create some other income, it's continuing to live the simplified life until a point in time when all of a sudden you can explode that into living the extravagant life that you want to live now. That's one of the hardest part for people. You want it now. That's why you go out and you spend all your money, because you want it now. You want the fun life, the good life. You want all the extravagance that you can, quote, afford right now. If you're willing to give that up, suffer the pain of living the simplified life now, the pleasure that you'll be able to enjoy later will be exponentially better than what you could spend your money on now. I mean, not just 10 times better, maybe 100, 1,000, or even 1,000,000 times better. If you can just say, you know what, 3 years, we're going to simplify this down. We're going to cut every expense we have. We're going to save every dime we can get. We're going to invest this money. We're going to find it. We're going to find a way to increase that income right now. We're going to find something that's going to help us increase that income right now, so that we can save money in big bulks and big chunks, so we can make investments, so we can create passive income, so we can reinvest it into ourselves, into our savings, so we can get more investments, so we can build passive income, so that 3, 4, maybe 5, maybe it takes you 10 years. But you know what? 3 years isn't squat. Think back 3 years ago. From right now, from today, think back 3 years ago. Number one, has your life changed at all? Are you living that much better than what you were 3 years ago? I'd say no, possibly even worse. Okay? But if you do the right things, 3 years from now, you can look back and you go, hey, you know what? Maybe it's not a lot. Maybe it's not a lot better. But you know what? You can say, you know what? It's definitely better. It is definitely better. And it's getting even more better. Even more better. But so like I said, maybe it'll take, some of you can do it in 3 years or less. Some of you, maybe it takes 5 or 7 or maybe even 10. But the point is, when you do get there, then you look back and you go, oh my God, look at my life back then. Look at what I've accomplished. Look at where I'm at now. Look at what I'm able to do. Look at what I'm able to have. Look at what this has become. And with that, O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire. You want to get started in wholesale real estate, the easiest way that it is possible, send me an email to propertynoodlers@gmail.com. That's all I got for today, guys.